Hello everyone. Please post on here if you can hear me. We'll do a sound check quick, and then we are going to wait for a couple people to dive in to this terrific, horrific crime of these two beautiful young girls. So I hope that I have all my settings on here set up right. It looks like I do. Hi, Ange. Okay, you can hear me. Good. I've got the mic a little farther away tonight, and so I wasn't sure how the sound was. Tonight, we are going to be looking at the Evansdale Murders. And we're going to do this together because I thought Friday nights, why not work together? The last one I did, there was amazing insights that we got, and you guys might see things in the cards that I don't see, and so we're going to work together on this. So I have the picture up of Lyric Cook and Elizabeth Collins. Now, I'm not going to go into the total story of their crime because there's so many YouTube channels that have it. But basically, July 13th, 2012, these two young girls were riding their bikes and they disappeared. Now, they were in the area of Meyer Lake, and the town ultimately decided to drain the entire lake just to try to find them with no luck. They were found in a wooded area called Seven Bridges Park, and it had to be someone who knew that park because they were in a deeply, heavily wooded area that most people would have no idea. But a lot of hunters were in that area. The police had gone through sex offenders in the area, and they had eliminated them as suspects. So on December 12th, or December 5th of 2012, a couple of hunters came across their remains. Hi, Sharon Parker. So, welcome, Sharon. So we're gonna look into this from a different kind of standpoint, okay? Because being a tarot reader, you know, my daughter's got me kind of hooked on the murder mystery podcasts, my two 20-year-old daughters, and normally I don't like this kind of thing, but it is intriguing because having been a tarot reader for 27 years, I thought, oh my God, what if we could bring tarot cards into this? So here's what I'm going to tell you, that we're going to start off asking questions, all right? And with tarot cards, everything is in the question that you ask. So I want to go through some of the major facts of this case. So first of all, the fact that someone abducted two girls at a time is strange, and ultimately it is so weird because in 2017 in Indiana also, Abby and Libby, same thing, two girls abducted. Very weird, okay? So this is in 2012, and another two girls were abducted by Michael Klunder, okay? A 12-year-old and a 16-year-old. And the 16-year-old, unfortunately, was murdered, but he left the 12-year-old in the truck, and she got away and got help. And when the police came, he had committed suicide. So he's dead, okay? And ultimately, they're not sure, but ultimately he's been cleared because it was stated or investigated that he possibly had an alibi. So they don't know, but Caitlin Shepard was the one he murdered, and then they didn't release the name of the 12-year-old, and that was Michael Klunder. So we can pull cards on him. Hi, Jill. And here's the other guy that's a suspect. Now look at this dude. This guy is Jeff Altmeyer, Altmayer. Now, he lived in Ankeny, Iowa. He was in the National Guard. He's been approaching young girls under 13 or between 13 and 16 for years. November 16th of 2016, he tried to lure a 6-year-old into his car, claiming he was a police officer. Here's another picture of him, January of 2017. And here's a picture of him with no sign. He's not holding up a sign. You can see the evil. Look at the evil in his eyes. You guys get used to this. Look at deeply into their eyes. Evil. Look into his eyes. Evil. It's like you're looking at evil. So now we get a chance to ask the cards any questions that we want. Hi, Anna Luisa. Oh, so you're Marcos. Oh, cool. Using hubby's computer. Hi, Nikki Larson. Hi, Legend. So what we're going to do here is we can ask the cards anything, and it's very important. The question is very important on how you ask it, okay? So, by the way, I want to also, I'm just going to go back here to my camera laptop, put on my other camera. Here I am, guys, wearing my old winter sweatshirts because it's cold down here. Here's one thing I want to state. I'll make myself a little... I probably will take myself off here pretty quickly, but I just wanted to let you know a couple of things that I do. So one of the things is numerology. All right. So I look at this from numerology. So Abby and Libby, Abby has 2 B's in her name. Of course, it's Abigail, but even then, you still have 2 A's in her name. And Williams has 2 L's in her name. And Libby is BB in her name. And this just gets weird for me, right? I mean, it gets weird for me. So they were actually these Lyric Ray. Her name is Lyric Ray Lynn, and Lynn is Lynn, 2 N's. Cook is Cook. Her real father's name has 2 R's in it. Morrissey, 2 R's in it, which, I'm just all looking at this. She was born in 2001. That's a 00. So she's what I call in numerology a twin, right? Now you're saying, Melanie, what the hell? Where are you going with this? Elizabeth Collins has 2 E's in her name. And Collins has 2 L's in her name. And she was born in 2003. So that's 00 again. So why is this important? When I found... And they live in Indiana, so there you go, Indiana. So there's 2 I's and 2 A's. So even the state they live in is twin letters. So then I start to wonder. Okay, I can't prove this, but I start to wonder if the murderer is also what I call a twin. Now, a twin, in the way I call it in numerology, is somebody with dual letters, not somebody born 2 babies at the same time. So I call them a twin if they have twin letters, okay? So when we look at Michael Klunder, there's no 2 letters the same, right? There's nothing there to look at. Klunder, nothing there to look at. Now you look at Jeff Altmeyer. Even if his name was Jeffrey, FF. Then you look at Altmeyer, AA. Then he lived in Ankeny, ANNKEN. So even the town he lives in is N. So when I look at this number-wise, I think, now I can't prove any of this, but I think, would a twin be drawn to 2 girls that were twin letters? Would it be possible that the killer would also be twin? And then, just recently, this just made the news, like just before I jumped on here, that's why I was 2 minutes late. Alexander Curry Fishtorn, who's 22, abducted a 16-year-old, Madison Edelman, DD, and he's CURR, another twin, and he was 22 years old. Now, he got caught, and he's arrested, but he abducted this girl, Another Indiana. What's with this? This is weird. I'm just looking at this stuff. That's what I do. I look at it. All right, let's make my camera go away. And we're going to start pulling some cards on this. So now I know you're just looking at a blank screen here. So sorry about that. But I will bring it back. And we're going to put some cards down. So you guys, when we think of questions on this, we're going to ask questions like, I want to kind of shy away from did so-and-so do it? Hi, Deb Jacob. Had the killer or killers ever seen the girls before they were abducted? That's a great question, Legend. Now, can I tell you one more thing I forgot? I forgot to tell you this. And now I don't know where I am. Oh, there I am. I made myself small. Oh, I'm upside down. How did that happen? I don't know what, you guys. I am just so challenged with technology. It's not even funny. I don't know why I'm upside down. I'm standing on my head. All right, let's just have me talk with. Okay, so I'm going to show you here. You can buy these cards on Amazon. All right, you can buy these blank cards. And I'm currently the author of the Fuck It deck. Oops, you can't say the F word on. I'm probably going to get banned from Mel Card Reverse. That's about right. That's about right. Okay, so you can buy these blank cards. So what does Melanie do? She makes murder mystery cards out of these. These are my own murder mystery cards. I'm going to probably publish these in a few months. But right now, the rule is I can only pull 3 cards. So I'm going to pull 3 cards to see what 3 cards come up. And then we're going to ask Legends question. And we're going to get to the real tarot. All right. What 3 cards do we have to know from Melanie's Murder Mystery Oracle? All right. This is a premeditated murder. All right. So in other words, it was calculated out somewhat. All right. Somewhat. Check surveillance cameras nearby. That's a little weird because they did. And they got a picture of the girls heading away from Meyer Park, which was kind of weird. I'm also going to pull the 3rd card. I don't know what to do with this one. Jealous love triangle. Don't know what to do with that. So I'm going to leave those 3 cards out because I'm still tweaking this deck out. All right. Now we're going to ask Legends question, which was, did the killer or killers, that's true, have seen the girls before before the day they were abducted? I'm going to use my regular tarot for this. Did the killer see these girls at any point before they were, look at this. One of the things that I like about, I got to shut off the big light so it doesn't glare for you guys. One of the things I like about the tarot cards is they'll give you more information than what is just on the question. So this makes me feel good in a horrible situation because justice means that justice is going to be served in this. All right. So that was an interesting card. So what we want to know is if this person knew the girls, right? Knew the girls before they were abducted. All right, so let's take a look. Where's my pointer? Let's take a look at what we have here for cards. Now, what I want you guys to do, this is your homework. Even if you guys don't, 11, another double. Good observation. This is what I love about you guys. Now, you guys jump in here because this is you also. But let's say that you say, Melanie, I don't know anything about the tarot. You don't have to, but you can see what's going on in the pictures. So we want to know if this person, and this is also giving us validation that we should pay attention to the double letters. All right, the justice. We should definitely pay attention to the double letters. So you can see that she's got a weapon. She's got a weapon, and she's holding 2 things here. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. 2 scales here, right? There's 2 scales here. Do you want me to, can you see that clear enough, or do I need to bring that in? Let me know if you need to see a card clearer. So see the scales? All right. Now, we've got 3 juggling 3 balls, right? So they're juggling, or is that just 2? I think that's just 2. Well, that would be weird. Yeah, because one of the balls is in the air. Oh my God, that's weird. So there's 2 again. Juggling 2. And then look at this card. What's in his hand? The scales. See the scales again? We had scales in the justice card. And there's 2. And then we've got the 8 of Pentacles. All right. Now, he's got 2 pentacles on the table, right? So we're being given some important information. The Justice is about being fair. This is about, this is a card about moderation. But when we turn these into murder mystery cards, we also have to use a darker deck. Although this indicates that this person may have a familiarity with the area and with the kids there, right? Because look at all the kids' hands. And so do you see what I mean? There's all these kids' hands. They may have been familiar with the area and familiar with the kids in the area. And then this is a school-age kid, all right? And so now we're going to pull the same amount of cards with the Haunted House Tarot. That's what this deck looks like, the Haunted House Tarot. So we're going to get a little layer deeper with this because we're going to, the Temperance is a 14, yes it is. 6 of Pentacles and 8 is an 8 that adds up to 14. That's doubles again. Good mathematician. Yes, you do. So we're going to pull 4 from the Haunted House deck, and we're still going to stick with the question, had the killer or killers ever seen the girls before? In other words, we're looking for some familiarity, right? Now that's weird because that almost gives us a clue about the guy that killed himself, right? Because that kind of looks like a suicide card, which is kind of interesting, but we'll keep going here. Now remember, this is a dark deck, so don't get scared. It's a pretty dark deck. We're going to pull four cards over these others, and we're going to look at them closely, and I'll switch cameras so I can see what you're seeing. Wow. Now just remember that this is a dark deck. All right, so we're going to pull, so we have Ace of Swords here. Okay, we've got Ace of Swords. We've got the Queen of Swords. And I'm not sure what card this is. This could be the Page of Wands, but I'm not sure. I don't have all these little symbols memorized. But at any point, we've got like a circus, a circus thing in the background. And then, of course, we've got, this is the Devil card with the horns, the Devil card. So we've definitely got information here that this person is a child stalker. And then, of course, we've got 2 here. We've got the number 2 again. So I'm going to say, looking at this, that I'm going to answer that question to be yes. I think they might not have known them personally, but they knew the children in the area. They knew the children of the town. It was a small town. All right, so then we can add another question to this. And we can say, I'm a lot more interested in Jeff Altmeyer than I am in Michael Klunder, but we have to remember that her dad was Dan Morrissey, and he got put there again, R and SS. That's her dad's last name. That would be Lyric Ray Lynn Cook, and her dad's name was Morrissey. All those double letters. Lynn Cook and Morrissey all have double letters. So we can pull cards on all of these. We can say, what do we have to know about Michael Klunder? And I'm going to use, how I'm going to phrase this is, let's just ask, and I have to pull a couple of different decks on here. Let's just ask if Michael Klunder was at all in any way involved in the murders of the Evansdale murders of Lyric Cook and Elizabeth Collins. And I'm going to pull just 2 cards for this one. All right? I'm going to pull 2 cards in this one. So we'll just see what this looks like. And then I'll go through these cards with you. This is from the Anna Kay deck. So you can see this looks like a crossroads. To me, this does validate that he was somewhere else. That he was somewhere else, okay? And there, of course, he's holding two sticks. And we've got the two symbols here. We've got a crossroads. I think, and this, of course, we've got the devil card. He's a sick person. He's a very sick person. So this would be the Two of Wands. Rods are wands. So we've got the Two of Wands and the devil card together. And then we're going to pull from a normal tarot, and I'm just going to use universal weight, and I'm going to pull two more on there. Did Michael Klunder have any direct contact with the murders of the Evansdale girls? Here we get Two of Wands again. Two of Wands. This is not a card that he did it. This is like, wait, there's more information to be revealed. This is the same card. Both these cards are twos. The High Priestess and this is a two. So I'm actually going to rule him out. I'm going to put a big line through him because these cards are not validating that Michael Klunder had anything to do with it. So at least I feel really comfortable in eliminating him. So I'm going to draw a line through him. Now remember, you also have to allow that it could be somebody else. It could be somebody else. So we have to kind of like take this one step at a time. Now, if you guys think of questions, go ahead and shoot them out here. Put some questions out here if you want to ask any. In fact, I'll give you some ideas of the questions I asked on the Abby and Libby thing I did. Was the person who committed this living in the town? What else did I say? How did the person know that the girls were hiking that day? I mean, you can see the questions, the type of questions. Did the person work locally? I mean, these are all questions that you can ask around the murder to get additional insights. So I'm actually going to look at Jeff Altmeyer right now, and I'm going to show you his picture one more time. So here he is in jail. He is a known sex offender. And we're going to pull cards from the Haunted House Tarot. Was Jeff Altmeyer, because remember, he has not been charged with their murders yet. Was Jeff Altmeyer directly involved, or indirectly actually, directly or indirectly involved with the death of Lyric Cook and Elizabeth Collins? And I think I'm going to pull two cards for this one too. I'm going to pull two cards for this one. So here's card. I'll switch the camera back. And then I'm going to give you guys closer looks at the pictures, and I want you guys to kind of maybe I'm going to pull three cards, you guys. I'm going to pull three cards, and then I'm going to show you the pictures, and I want you to look at the pictures and see what's going on in these pictures. All right? See if you can. The cards are always going to be giving you clues. So you guys get to be Sherlock Holmes now. And we're going to look at these cards. So here we have the Tower card. And then we've got, what is this one? Oh, this is the Fool. Well, that's a weird Fool card. And then we've got the Six of Pentacles. And that came up before. That came up before in the other reading with a different deck. Okay. So now look at these pictures, all right? And this is for Jeff Altmeyer being involved in it. The Tower is a very upsetting event, okay? It's a very upsetting event. And the Fool almost leads me to believe it's one person did this. What do you guys think? Do you think it's looking like one person did this? And then we've got the Six of Pentacles, and look at the scales. Again, we've got the scales again of the two. One person responsible for the two. So we've got the Tower, the Fool, and the Six of Pentacles. And we've got mice, which kind of can mean stealing away. So the Tower is it can also be having a revelation, like having a big insight, and it can also be just a sudden event, like a sudden event. And the Fool is somebody who takes risks. They take risks. They act childlike. They can act like a child. It's very interesting in this deck. And the Six of Pentacles, she's handing mice something. And then there's 2 mice. There's 2 mice. This is so interesting. So now I have to pull from a regular tarot deck, because the symbols of this, we don't get a clear yes or no on this deck unless you guys are seeing it. One person running away from their past. That's brilliant. That is brilliant, because he had a shady past. Oh, could be. Anna, looks like this man despises children. Yes, the lady giving coins to rats, maybe the man giving the kids things. It could be rage against him, childhood issues. Yeah, he did. Jeff Altmeyer is a monster. He's a monster. So I'm going to actually use Robin Wood. And then I'm going to throw in a third deck just to give us even more insights. So we're trying to clarify if Jeff Altmeyer is for sure in... Oh, I don't have to pull any more. God, I hate it when that happens. It just ends everything so quickly. So when I pull an ace, it means yes, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention here. What is that? A tower. What is this? A tower. And then there's a path. There's a path. So I feel like tower is a clue. So how would you guys think about a tower? Like, how would you pursue that? How would you pursue that as a clue? And then I'm also going to add, with my Omega Land deck, heads up, it's a violent deck. It's got a lot of Campbell's soup cans in it, but it is a violent deck. I'm going to pull 2 of these cards from Omega Land just to show what was going on. So here's this person sitting behind. Oh wow, sitting behind a tree, waiting. Is that somebody playing in a band? Sitting behind a tree, so kind of hidden. Isn't that interesting? Kind of like hidden. And then this is somebody that's got all the tools. Here's a flashlight. And they've got all the tools. Oh, and they know how to get around at night. So this was somebody who knew the terrain. And here's a flashlight. And this looks like somebody looking at him. Like he's a suspect. Yeah. It's like he was a suspect, but somehow was able to elude it. Do you see that? Look at his weird arm. Like he was a suspect, but he almost like he got away with it. And 7 of Cups, by the way, is the confusion card. It's the card about being confused. So the police are somewhat confused, and maybe it's because they don't have enough evidence to bring him to trial. And also this talks about timing. But my gosh, this happened in 2012. I mean, I don't understand everything, but wow, that is a long time to have an unsolved crime that's that horrific. So the other thing that I want to pull cards on is Dan Morrissey was the parent of Lyric, and he went, of course there was always speculation because Lyric's parents were both into drugs, and Dan got sentenced to 90 years in prison. And I just feel like we should pull cards on Dan Morrissey and then also just pull cards on somebody else, because that's one of the things I forgot to do in the others. I always want to leave it open that maybe somebody else could be involved in this. So, where did he work? Was watching children from a high building. Oh, brilliant. Can somebody Google where did Jeff Altman work, if he even had a job with the type of past he had? I'd be surprised, but there could be a tall building nearby. You're right. He probably did have a drinking problem, I'm guessing. I'm guessing that he did. Yeah, that's a good insight. So I'm going to pull 3 cards on Dan Morrissey from the Haunted House Tarot and then the regular tarot. What do we have to know about Dan Morrissey? So we're looking into the dad here. Oh, he's got, look at all the monster. He's literally got monsters to deal with. He's got monsters. Now, isn't that interesting? The girls are, that's the Hermit card. I think that's an interesting Hermit card. Both of these, none of these cards, the 4 of Swords, none of these cards indicate that he really did it, but I'll pull 3 from a normal deck just to make sure. But it looks like he was pretty much detached from his kid's life, from that kid's life. He detached quite a while ago, and that's what it sounds like. She was raised by the grandparents. So I honestly don't think that he had a lot to do with her life. So he was a parent, because that's the 2 people coming together. And he did have anger. He had anger issues. But the Ace of Cups is, I didn't ask the question like, did Dan do it or anything like that, because I didn't ever get the feeling, and I don't think the police did either, that he was capable of murdering both those girls. He didn't really have a motive, and he didn't have a violent past. He just had kind of a drug problem past. So I don't really think I'm going to consider him to be a suspect, but I do want to know, it's possible, it makes me wonder if he was dealing in drugs, if somebody owed him money, and then to punish him, they would take out the child. So I still think we need to continue questions with this. So I'm actually going to ask, did anyone that was, did Dan owe anybody money that would have hired someone or gone and murdered these girls? He claims no, right? He claims no. So we'll see what cards we pull from that to see. And the questions are very important that you ask. So there's the child showing up, and that would be the queen would be the child's mother. And this is the parents. So here we have a couple who they ironically were separated, and the child's in the middle. But there's no conspiracy here. And it's interesting to get all 3 court cards for this. So I do not believe, based on those 3 cards, that, somebody did this out of revenge because he might have owed them money for some reason. So I don't think that was the case either. So we can then ask the question, but we got the Justice card in the beginning, so I feel pretty good about that. But we can ask the question, is justice going to be served in this case? In other words, are they going to convict somebody? Is somebody going to be convicted for this? Now, I believe Jeff Altmeyer is in prison right now for the other crimes that he did. But let's just find out. Is there going to be justice served for the Evansdale murders? And look at this waiting. Like they're waiting. And this can literally be that they have to dig up more evidence. Like, see the shovel here? You can take the tarot to literally mean that they have to dig up more evidence. And then we'll pull one more card. So they're still waiting for enough evidence. Look at this. We're haunted by this card. The 6 of Pentacles with the scales. So they're still checking out leads. So then we have to ask the question, is there someone else? Maybe it's not Jeff Altmeyer. So we have to ask that question too. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Is there someone else other than Jeff Altmeyer who committed this murder? Even though I got the Ace of Pentacles, I'm still going to ask this question. Was somebody else involved in the murder? Just somebody we don't know about, okay? Somebody that we are not familiar with. That's that circus. Remember that card that came up before with the circus card in the background? So now, you know what this tells me, you guys? Because the shadow people, see that? Waiting to hit. It leads me to believe that someone else knows what happened. Somebody else knows what happened. So either the person who committed this has talked to somebody, or somebody else was aware that it happened. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Do you see that? She's looking around the corner at the two shadow figures. Look at how angry she is. 7 of Wands. This is very interesting. So I believe, you know, from that first card that Justice came, and we keep getting the 6 of Pentacles, which is the scales, which is justice. I do believe that something's going to happen to make the shadow figure come into the light and be exposed, and I think they're going to get enough evidence to make a conviction. I don't think this case is going to be cold for, you know, very much longer. That's my personal opinion on it. Let's see if I'm upside down still. What in the heck am I upside down for? Oh, there I am. Here I am. I don't have to be upside down anymore. I don't know what I did to do that. That was pretty funny. So is there any other questions? Let me look through here. Didn't Jeff Altmeyer's work, but he was in jail for attempting to abduct girls by $100 bills? Yes. Yes, the $100 bills. Yes, I think I read that. Is it possible that he was helped by someone? Let's ask. Should we ask Anna Kay? That's kind of a dark deck. Was Jeff Altmeyer helped? Did he work with someone else on this, the murder of the Evansdale Lyric and Elizabeth Collins? Did Jeff Altmeyer work with someone else? That's a very good question. Very good question. Now, look at that. Oops, let me make myself disappear. This, my friends, is working alone. And look at the wooded area in the back. This person was so confident, so arrogant, and so confident that I believe they worked alone. I believe that I don't even have to pull any cards. Although this is an ace, which would typically say yes, you know, yes, there was others. So I guess if you could read it that way, if we asked it that way and got the ace, that's the Ace of Swords, we should pull another card. And then the other card, if it has more than one person in it, then we will know. Oh, God. Well, look at that. So one way when I ask questions, if they can be answered with a yes, then aces come. So did he work with other people? This could have been a yes, even though there's only one person in here. And then look at this. Almost like a pedophile ring, doesn't it feel like? Like it's a pedophile ring. I don't know why I just said that. Do you think it's possible that all these double murders could be tied into a pedophile ring? Do you think that's possible? What are you guys' thoughts? Do you think in looking at this that it's possible that there is a huge pedophile ring and that's why there's no fear in abducting 2 of everybody in that state? I mean, pedophile rings are getting exposed right now. And look at all the people in there. It's like they're cheering, which is kind of weird. So yes, it was an ace. So that's why I pulled additional cards on it, because ace could mean yes, he worked with others. And look at, I pulled the group. And now it makes me feel like maybe this could be some kind of pedophile ring. That's why when we talk through these things and you guys get insights, that's one of the things that is interesting about this. Look at this. Groups. Could it be, and these are just alleged, this is allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. But look at this group and a group. It's very weird. This is very weird. So we do have some mysteries around this, don't we? But sometimes we can, we can gain additional insights into this. So let's ask Miss Cleo's deck. Does this have to do with a pedophile ring? Are these disappearances of two sets of people? Is this some kind of pedophile ring or just people acting alone? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Pedophile, what does this look like? Looks like a ring. What's going through it? Snake. Monsters. A monster snake ring. Snakes bite poison. Huh. What do you guys think of that? We ask if this is a pedophile ring and we get the wheel, which looks like a ring. What do you think about this? He was caught in Ankeny. One for you, one for me. Oh, I never thought about that. That's very interesting. Hi, Christina. So I'm really intrigued that the wheel came up when I asked about a pedophile ring, because that's kind of how tarot works. The wheel also shows people from different corners. Yep. Yes, it does. It's people in all four corners. And plus, when we ask if it's a ring, and the tarot cards want you to understand that this is a major arcana and that this could be a bigger issue, which do you guys think? Now, this is just allegedly, but if this is a large pedophile ring, is it possible that I don't know if I want to speak this in a public place. Let's just say, is it possible there's a reason that these crimes are unsolved? Should I put it that way? You guys know what I mean if I say that? There's a reason that these are left unsolved. I mean, Libby and Abby's unsolved, and she actually got a video of the guy and his voice, and they still can't locate this guy. And Lyric and Elizabeth, they can't find this person. I don't know. Very interesting. This is very, very interesting. I don't know what to think of it. This is allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. So I'm going to pull another card with the wheel. Temperance. Trying to balance things. And the Knight of Cups. Messages. That's very interesting. The Knight of Cups. That's about messages. And love. And he's got an armor for protection. Having protection. That's weird. I don't want to say too much more about that. The Temperance card is a very interesting card. And that, again, is a 14, which is a 5. One of the things with numerology that I noticed is a lot of these, murders have stuff to do with 5s. Lyric had a 5-5 in her name, as well as a 9-9. I was looking for patterns. Her name has a 9-9. 5566, and her dad's last name is a 99 pattern. And Elizabeth had a 55, and Collins had the 33, and then 2003 the 00. And then for Elizabeth Collins, July would have been a 5th personal month for her, so there's another 5 there. And then 2012 is a 5-year, 2 + 2 + 1. So I mean, when I look at this for the numbers, it's always interesting to me. I've never attempted to get information using numerology on this, so I don't really know what to do with these. I'm just paying attention. that maybe the person who would be drawn to murdering them would be a twin, like they both are strong twins as far as having the duplicate numbers. So this is something that's, we have to think about. All these clues that came out. Temperance can mean addiction. It can, yeah, it depends on what cards it's with, but absolutely. Watering down information can be a sign of the temperance with the Knight of Cups, absolutely. The scales have come up a lot. Someone from the justice system. That's a good question. Very good question, Sarah. It absolutely, we have to just think about, all aspects. We have to think about all aspects of this. And so the cards are really good about giving hints and insights. And I feel like that justice will be served in this case. At least I certainly hope so, because we really don't want any more of these double things to happen, especially in this day and age where we got to hope that people start waking up and we have to solve these, because if you get so many of these that are unsolved, it becomes weird. You know what I mean? If we get so many of these, especially when two are involved, two people are involved. So we're going to stay tuned to this, and at the end I always like to do a prayer for the children and all the families involved of these tragic situations. So if we'll just take a moment of silence, and we'll just send prayers out to the family, and also prayers out to these little girls who had their lives cut short. So we'll just do a minute of silence to send our prayers to everyone involved who love these little children. I want to thank all of you for joining me tonight, and we'll rewatch this video. There could be signs and things that you missed, so feel free at any time to comment on this. And next week I'll try to find another mystery for us to dive into, because I think these are interesting. And until then, everybody have a good rest of your weekend. And I will see you on the next one. Check back, because I'm working on some more pick threes and some other cold cases to look at, and just general readings to do on my page. So thank you guys for being on my channel. See you later. Bye.